Hello everyone, Debbie here. Welcome back to Barossa Valley Crafts. Today we're going to make this card. So we're going to be smooshing ink and some stamping. Now I have used dies to make this one, but you do not have to do that. So let me show you how I have made this, and you can improvise with whatever tools and equipment that you have. Okay, so let me show you how I have done this. So I'm using Distress Oxide inks. So I'm going to be using Mermaid Lagoon, Villainous Potion, and Kitsch Flamingo. Now what I'm doing is I have just got a piece of laminated plastic here. So if you don't have a smooth, non-porous surface, just use a sheet of plastic or something. If you've got a glass mat, you can use that. But if you don't have a glass mat, I've just done a piece of clear lamination plastic here to work on. So we've got those on there. Now I'm just going to spritz them with water. Now the more water you add, the more muted the colours will be. So it's up to you what you want to do. So I'm using 300 GSM smooth white card here, and I'm just going to push it onto there. So I'm going to now look at it, and I can see I still need more here. So I just keep doing that until I have got all the card covered. There we go. Now you don't have to use these colours, you can use any colours you like. That's probably enough. So now I'm just going to clean off my mat, and I'm just going to pop that aside because I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to wipe my mat down here because I can see I've got a bit of glitter on there, so I don't really want that on the card. I'll just dry that off. Now, what you need to do now is allow your piece of card to dry. So you can, as I said, use it like this. You can trim it down to the size that you want. But what I have done is I have used a set of cutting dies, and I have cut out my mats and layers with those dies. So as I said, this needs to dry before you continue. So I've done one a little bit earlier that's already dry. So once it was dry, I used my cutting die and I have cut it out. And then while I was at it, I also cut out my matte layers as well. And for something different, I've also done the card base. So to do the card base, I placed my cutting die on the folded edge. So you can see there where you have the actual cutting edge of the die. So I place that so the fold of the card is just inside that die, so it will not be cut. And then when you cut it out, you will end up with this. So you can still open and fold the card. But like I said, if you don't want to, you can just use this just as your normal shape and just trim down your bit of paper to the size that you want to use. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my stencil, and I'm just going to sit that there. I'm just going to pop some paper under here, and then using the Mermaid Lagoon, I'm just going to pop a little bit of colour around the edge with this stencil just to give it a bit of a pattern. Now you can do it as dark or as light as you like. It's totally up to you. I want to try and round the corners a bit. I'll just keep doing that until we've got the depth of colour that I want. Oh, I've just moved that. Okay, just keep going there and around the bottom. Okay, I'm going to lift that and see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's all I want. Just a little bit of inking around the edge like that. Then, actually I might bring my bit of paper back in. Then I'm just going to go right around the edge a little bit just to give it a bit of shading. Actually, I might do that with the purple one just to give it a bit of contrast. So I'll come in with the purple and just on the tippy edge, go around the edge of the card. While I'm doing this, I'll just let you know that I do have a Facebook group called Cardmaking for Beginners and Beyond. I'll add the link in the description, and if you'd like to join, you're more than welcome. Please do answer the question to be able to join. If you don't answer the question, you can't join. So, here we go. So that's just given a little bit more of a contrast around the edge. Okay, I'll just pop the lid on that. Now, we'll do some stamping. So I'm going to be using Lavinia stamps today. And I'm going to use these ones, the Flower Divine. So it's a big one and a little one. So I'm going to place the big one first. So I'll pop that one about there. And then I'll put the little one there. Make sure you have your magnets fairly close to your stamps if you're using a board, just to stop them moving too much. Okay, I'll do that and pick them up. Now for stamping, I'm going to be using VersaFine Clear Bluebell. So we'll just ink up the stamps. Now, if you don't have a stamp board, you can stamp these freehand. I like to use my stamp press. Okay, so we'll ink those up and stamp them on. Make sure you give it a good press and allow time for the ink to soak in to the card. There we go, that's done. Just clean off my stamps. Okay, just get that out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my card together before I do any more to it. So we're going to put the matte layer onto the base card. So we'll start off with the purple one. Now with these, you can do as many mats and layers as you like. And if you want to, you could add dimensional tape to give them dimension, but I'm going to be posting this card, so I don't want it to be too thick or it won't go through as a normal letter. So I'm just going to line that up in there. And then we put the blue one on top. And again, if I was handing this in person, I'd be putting dimensional tape on it. I'll just pop that on there and put that in place. And now I'll add this one. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to add some glitters and stuff to the front of the card. And if I do, once that's done, I would have to allow it to dry before putting the card together. So that's why I'm putting it together. Then I will add the glitters, so I can then leave it until it dries. Okay, just tip that over and give it a good rub. Here we go. So now I've got some Stickles glitter here. These Stickles glitters I got from an online store in Tasmania called Image Plus Scrapbook Superstore. I'll add the link in there so you can have a look. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of glitter, and then I'm just going to tap it with my finger to spread it out a bit. And I'm going to do it here as well, and here, and just tap it out just to spread it a little bit. A little bit more in there. And then I'll do the same on this flower. A bit there, there. Okay, I'll just tap it out just to spread it a little bit. Here we go. I'll put a little bit more on this one. Here we go. So hopefully the camera's picking up that glittery shine. And then I'm just going to pop some glitter strips just randomly around, and some dots. And again, I'm just going to flatten them out a bit just to spread them rather than have too many raised dots. There we go. And that's done. How easy is that? And it's a bit effective. So I'll just wipe the glitter off my fingers. And there it is. Very quick and easy. Now you can use any stamps that you've got in your stash. You don't have to use the same ones as myself. And there's the other one I did earlier. So with this one, I used just different shades of blue inks, whereas this one I've put a bit of a pink ink in it as well, just to give it a bit of colour variation. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please do give me the thumbs up, and do subscribe if you'd like to be notified as more tutorials are done. And hopefully we'll see you in the Facebook group. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you all later. Bye.